Hi, everybody.
Hello, I'm Ryan.
I'm Bethany.
And we are Ryan and Bethany Board Game Reviews.
And today we'll be talking about Make It Happen. And this is designed by Jamie Miller, and it is published by Indie Boards and Cards.
All right, one of my favorite conventions to go to play games is Geekway to the West. It's one of the best just open gaming conventions there is. But one of the things they used to do was a board game design contest. And whoever the winner was would get a print run of design by Indie Boards and Cards. So this is one of the previous year's winners, Make It Happen. This is a two-person or two-team game where basically you are designing outfits that are going to be on a fashion show catwalk kind of a thing. You get a chance to determine what fabrics are going to be hot, which fabrics are not going to be hot, and it's kind of a set collection game going on to fulfill those different patterns. All right, let me do a quick overview of how to play. All right, here's our setup for Make It Happen. Over here we have our hot and our not boards. Those are shared between the two different teams, but each team's going to have their own player board and their own deck of cards. All right, there are 5 different designs. At the beginning of the game, each team is going to choose 3 of them to work on. And kind of the points are at the bottom. That also kind of indicates the difficulty level. So maybe let's put kind of a mid one, maybe a little bit of an easier one, and let's just put a super hard one down there as well. So those are all different ones that we're going to be working on this round. So each team is going to get a hand of 6 cards, and what you're going to do is you have 3 options that you can take on your turn. You are either going to play a card or a series of cards onto these outfits, matching up to the number of cards on the side of the board there. For example, in order to fulfill that hat, it would take 1 card. In order to fulfill that poncho, it would take 4 cards. Or to get that skirt, it would take 2 cards. And they do have to be matching. The next thing you can do is you can just kind of trash cards. The cards in your hand, you can put them in the discard pile over here on top of your mat and redraw your hand. Or what you can do is you can choose cards in your hand that are going to be hot or cards in your hands that are going to be not hot in order to kind of control the end game and make sure the outfits and the fabrics that you've used are going to score while trying to make sure that the outfits that your opponent is using are not going to score. No matter what you do with your cards, whether you play them on outfits or discard them or put them in the hot or not piles, you're always going to redraw your hand back up to 6 at the end of your turn, and then that's going to be the way you go. Earlier, I kind of mentioned this is a 2-player or a 2-team game. I'm kind of just teaching it as if it were a 2-player game, just to kind of add a little bit of simplicity to the teach. But it works the same way no matter what. Just sometimes in the higher player counts, there's more cards distributed amongst all the players. All right, so here's our hand of cards. We've got a little bit of everything, but we do happen to have 3 of these kind of flowered cards. So what I'm thinking is, let's use 2 of these in order to fill that skirt. It takes 2 cards. So what we're going to do is we're going to put these under here in order to give her that flowered skirt, and then we're going to redraw our hand back up to 6. Now on our next turn, what we can do is we can take one of these cards, the remaining flower card, and put it face down in the hot pile, in order to make sure that at the end of the game, that flower material that we use is going to be declared hot. And as always, we're going to redraw our hand up to 6. Some of the fabrics are a little bit more common than others. The common ones are here, these 5 over here. They're going to be worth 1 star at the end of the game. The kind of the medium tier worth 2 points, and then that flower pattern is actually going to be worth the most amount of points. So, the end of the game is going to be triggered once one player or one team has finished all 3 of their dresses. Then what we're going to do is we're going to take all the cards that were on the hot tile, shuffle them up, and reveal 3 of them. Same thing with the not pile. We're going to take all the cards that were there, shuffle them up, and reveal 3 of them. Now let's say there is a card that's on both the hot and the not categories. Basically, you're just going to kind of discard those cards. They balance each other out. All right, now we are ready to score. We're going to look at the cards that were in the not pile. So let's say we had a couple cards like this that were revealed. Any of the outfits that had those fabrics revealed in the not pile are immediately discarded. The whole outfit is just gone. So let's say this card had one of those black checkered fabrics. This whole thing would be gone. Also, if any of the outfits are incomplete in any way, those are also discarded. So now, out of the outfits that are left, what you're going to do is you're going to count the number of stars on the actual outfit itself. In this case, if we had finished that, it'd be worth 2 points. And then what we'd do is we would count the stars on the different sets of cards. So this particular fabric has 3 stars on it, so we'd count those up. And if any of those fabrics were considered hot, in this case, of course, we kind of made that happen. What's going to happen is you're going to add 2 additional points. So if we fulfilled that, let's say we get 2 points from that, 3 points from the materials we used, plus an extra 2 points for that material being hot. All right, at the end of final scoring, whoever has the most amount of points is going to win the game. And remember, there's only 3 actions you can take. You can either fulfill the outfits, or you can discard cards in order to get rid of cards that you don't want in your hand anymore, or you can declare some cards hot or not. No matter what, you're going to redraw your hand. You're going to try to finish those outfits as fast as possible and score as many points as possible. The team that pulls that off the best are going to be declared the winners.
I thought this game like happened in the hot or not, because you're wanting those cards and you're wanting to fulfill them for your own thing, but you can also see what your opponent is doing, and you kind of want to make it to where they can't get any points for that. So the tug and pull of like wanting to be able to use things, but also needing to do that, and then also you want to get something awesome for yourself, but you also want extra points for that awesomeness for yourself. So having to sacrifice cards that you could be using for your set to put it in there to be a hut. I liked that, and I kind of thought that that's like where the game happened, was trying to figure out what cards to keep and what cards to put over there.
This is a 2-player or 2-team game. Plays up to 12 people, which is a lot. It was very, very wild, but also plays very, very quick, especially with the 2-player version. This is our daughter is an aspiring fashion designer. She's been working on dresses, and
she's made a dress.
And she's always sketching out things that she wants to try out. And she's so this theming for this was perfect for her. This is a game that her and I was able to play because she gets to kind of make these little dresses, make these little designs as playing a board game as well. So I think that really worked for that audience. It says 14 plus in the box. I think that's more,
Had to do with testing.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, this game may wear made with lead paint. I don't know. But don't suck on the cards. That's all I have to say. But from a gameplay perspective, our daughter was 8 when she was playing this and had no issues whatsoever. So 8 on up, unless you're licking the cards.
Like, just thinking about that. So this is a really minor thing that I liked, and I don't even know if it's something that people would have noticed, but the silhouettes that you're placing these cards under, they're just not like rail thin. They're like normal looking sizes of people, and I know that's such like a minor thing, but at the end of the day, it was a design choice to do that, and I just really liked that they did that when you're designing the silhouettes that you're putting the cards under, just like, I mean, they're just not, they're not this big, and I just really appreciated that, and it's going to make it easier for people to, like, envision themselves in that, and it has nothing to do with the gameplay, but I just really appreciate that was a design choice that was made.
All right, speaking of design choices, I really like when you design those dresses. So it's a set collection game. Once you've collected those cards, you actually tuck them under the cutouts, and so you actually get to see what it looks like having those different fabrics and those patterns on those different things. So you get to design your own clothes. It worked on 2 directions. It worked on a mechanical level, right, where you actually, the rare of the materials are worth more points, or whatever the case is. But also thematically, it worked really, really well too. You could see right there what the different combinations looked like. So I really, appreciated that the aesthetic choice. And also at a glance, then you could kind of see. You wouldn't have to rifle through, like pick up to figure out what's hot and what's not. You can just see. Oh nope, she's wearing leather pants, and that's not hot right now, or whatever. Get rid of that outfit. So I liked being able to look down and see exactly what you're working with, but it also gave you something cool to look at as well, knowing what you've accomplished.
So overall, I thought this game was cute and fun. It's not necessarily going to be a game that I'm going to gravitate towards very often, but I still did enjoy it, and I thought it was really streamlined and that it was enjoyable.
There was 2 things about this game that were a little nitpicky for me. One of them was, it's a little bit of a grind, You only had a hand of 6 cards in the 2-player version of the game, and you had to come up with, in some cases, 5 of a kind, which means you spent a lot of time just kind of digging through the deck. And that, whether you're watching your opponent kind of build up towards something, and you're just kind of like drawing, hoping to find that plaid pattern or whatever the case is. So that was a little bit of a grind. But also, when I play a game that's fairly short, this is 30 minutes in the box, and it's probably even a little bit less than that once everybody's familiar with the game. I like being able to play the game back to back, right? To me, that's a sign of like, yes, this game is great. I'm excited to play it again. This game, once I played it the one time, I was like, okay, that's fun. Let's move on. So it's not like it's a bad game by any means. It's just not one that I'm like...
It didn't leave a bad taste in your mouth, but it didn't leave you wanting more.
Exactly. So this is a game that I'm going to continue to play with our daughters. This is the one that they request every once in a while, and it looks great on the table. It has a cool theme behind it that matches up with their tastes. So I imagine I'll be playing this for a while to come, and I'm not upset about that.
Everybody, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe so you can see our videos as they come out. If you enjoyed what you saw, consider leaving us a tip. There is a link down below and how to do that. Until then, you can find us in all of these places.
All right, you guys, thanks for watching, and we will see you next time.
Bye.